While the swamp scene is going on, Kong makes his way to a log bridge. Before he can make it to the bridge, two beasts approach him from each side. On one side, a Styracosaurus. On the other side, the mysterious Arsinotherium, a two-horned menace that comes charging like a rhino, which startles the Styracosaur and makes it charge as well. Below Kong, he is standing on black slabs of prehistoric asphalt, and we see the wheels in his head turn. He puts Ann down atop a tar-like mountain and lets the beasts come. He jumps, and the two monsters bash each other's heads like feuding deer. Kong comes back down on both of their heads. He closes his hand-like feet on them before they jerk their heads up and trip him down. The Arsinotherium thrusts its head down, attempting to gut Kong. Kong rolls over and puts the Styracosaur in a headlock. The Arsinotherium gets its horns stuck in the asphalt as it tries to tug itself out. While wrestling with the Styracosaurus, Kong kicks the Arsinotherium in the neck once, and its neck breaks as it closes its eyes and its head goes limp, stuck there in the floor. Kong kicks its lifeless corpse for the second time, and its horns shatter off its head, leaving two broken stumps with black holes in the center of its head and two stumps stuck in the floor. Its body falls over to the side. Kong then shoves off the Styracosaur and bangs his chest as he gets himself up on two, picks up a loose piece of asphalt and slams it down on the Styracosaur's head, injuring it. It shakes its head and runs off. Kong looks up at the top of the rock to see that Ann is gone. Cut to her running through the jungle, her feet getting cut on any sharp object on the ground. Her once beautiful hair now dirtied. She ends up tripping and finding herself in quicksand. She begins to panic, but remembers that only makes the sinking worse, so she freezes and keeps her hands up. And her chin up. Ba-dum-tss. In the distance, trees are uprooted, and the rumbling of feet makes her sink faster as she gasps. Just then, Kong comes from out of the jungle, and he looks down and stares at Ann, disappointed and a little mad at her. But Ann is in such a desperate situation, she'd take any help she can get, and her big blue eyes shriek with empathy. And in Kong's eyes, you could see heartbreak at the fact that she fled. In this moment of staring, something clicks between them, and when Kong picks her up out of the sand and wipes her off softly, Ann starts to see another side to him. They make their way to the log bridge. Back with the sailors, they are now gunless and frightened, running away from the beings they encountered back at the swamp. But luck is sparse, and just when they thought they were far enough away, they run into a familiar beast, the Styracosaur from before. Its head is bloody and clearly injured, which only makes it angry, and when a bunch of sailors find it and jump back, screaming, the dinosaur lets out a cheer while lifting its stubby front legs and charges once more. It tramples one sailor and impales another before chasing after the rest who took that opportunity to run. Our main guys make it to the bridge and have no choice but to cross. They try not to look down because the chasm below holds the most horrid part of the island. The sound of their screams attract Kong, who puts Ann up onto a tree and runs back. When Kong roars his way out, their first instinct is to turn back, but when they do, there's a Styracosaurus waiting for them. Denim is in the back just filming Kong before Kong starts lifting up the log, which hits the Styracosaur in the face and angers it more as it starts to shove the other side. Some sailors fall off and die on impact. Others stay alive due to the muddy bottom. And that's when the most terrifying hellspawn reveal themselves and start a feeding frenzy. When the first corpse falls, a giant spider-like being crawls off a rock. When the second falls and lives, he thinks he can run to a rock, but the rock is actually another crab-like spider creature, and another comes out of a cave. Denim's biggest tragedy happens when the camera leaps from his hands and falls into the pit, leaving him looking down like he just lost a brother or a wife. Just then, Charlie falls, and as a result of trying to catch him, Old Lumpy follows. But Billy takes his hand, but can't pull him up, and another shake from Kong loosens Billy's grip as he watches his best friend and father figure plummet to his death. He can't contain himself as Denim snaps himself out of his selfish malaise and takes Billy. They sneak into a cavern next to the log. They climbed over and ducked. And Jack, on the other side, climbs down a vine and hides in another cavern. Kong flips over the log, and the rest of the sailors fall. This is when the Lost Spider Pit sequence is truly redone. Lumpy is surrounded by tiny spider creatures who eat him alive. A lizard pig creature eats away at another sailor's midsection, and a tentacle beast disgustingly devours a man. Charlie and other sailors are destroyed by giant hopping sprickets.